Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue our journey with Tarik and Hazel. Let's get to the show.
So you don't have your son with you or whatever?
He's at his father. My son lived with me when he was 3 years old. I love him, but I didn't have enough money, and so I gave my son to his father. If I have a good future with Tarik, I want to get my son again.
Wow, so that really raises the stakes in terms of trying to find someone and find a life in which she can support her son. Yeah, that really is telling about how her situation is, right?
I mean, it says a lot about a woman, depending on how hard she fights for her kids, about that woman's character, you know?
So the implication is that there's a character flaw there.
Bro, I'm just asking questions.
I love when people do that. I'm just asking questions. I mean, was he really born in Hawaii? Hey, I'm just asking questions. You're not just asking questions.
It's all right. It's okay.
I'm just asking simple questions. You can't answer that? What's wrong with you? Something ain't right about that. Something ain't freaking right about her, yo.
Wow. Maybe there isn't something right about her. I don't know. Maybe y'all know because you've watched ahead. I don't know. But we haven't seen any evidence that would tell us, the viewer of the TV show, that it justifies berating her for what? The fact that she is so suffering from poverty that with tears in her eyes, she has to give her son to the father of the son because she doesn't have the money and her family doesn't have the money, or she doesn't live in a community that can support him, or whatever it is. And she's really sad about it. And for this guy, he is calling out her motherhood and her character, and something's not right about her. Now, is this fella just operating from his level of understanding? Is he having some kind of trauma? Actually, that's interesting. The level of distress he's going through, I wonder if he has some abandonment in his life that he is reacting to right now. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever find out about him, but it does raise some questions. It certainly would explain his rigidity here.
You can go to your bed.
No, I'm not going.
My brother's living in a dream world. Who the freak falls in love after a few weeks anyway? Ridiculous, man.
Okay. Some people fall in love after a few weeks, some people after a few months, some people after a few years. I don't know what this guy's problem is. I get that he is worried about his friend or brother. That's fine. Absolutely. Be worried. Makes sense. It would make sense that you're worried. But this kind of hostility, like right out of the gate, doesn't seem fair. Now, maybe y'all know that it is fair given what happens in the future, but I don't think this fella knows enough to exhibit this amount of hostility towards her. He doesn't even, to my knowledge, he barely understands the situation, and he doesn't really know her at all.
Let's go back up here.
No.
Hazel, stop. Hazel, come here. Hazel. Hazel has just run away. I am beyond furious.
Man, yo.
Having Dean come to the Philippines was the worst decision I ever made. Hazel.
That's really sad. So she runs off. She is quite rattled by the attitude of this other guy. And then Tarik is running after her, can't catch up to her. It's just a lot of unnecessary pain. If the friend or brother, I can't remember which, had questions, maybe get to know her, figure things out, monitor the situation as time goes on, but just come out of the gate swinging like that at her and really hurt her feelings like that. It's just unfortunate.
So you just, if you cut it like on the bias, it stays juicy. Honey. I'm just helping you. We're doing this together, right? So if you cut it on a bias at a slant, it saves the juice. I've worked in restaurants, so okay.
I'm done.
I know how my kids like it, so.
Wow. It's like it was just yesterday I was reacting to this cut on the bias. Remember that? It's, I mean, I guess it's become a meme, I believe, but at the same time, it just represents so much pain and sadness and anger. The kids were there to witness it. It's a pretty awful moment, really.
I was worried, sick. I didn't want you to be scared because of what you saw.
I ran away because I am worried Dean put doubts in head of Tarik. I wish Dean hadn't come.
Don't worry about it. That was just a bad idea from the beginning. It was a bad idea for me even letting him come here.
I don't know what is particularly going on in her mind right now, but I'm guessing that she's feeling a lot of shame and she feels really hurt. I'm also curious about her history because she seems to exhibit some behaviors that would maybe indicate some trauma. I don't know. I don't want to be one of those therapists that like, oh, I see trauma everywhere or particular kinds of trauma. But it wouldn't surprise me. Let's just put it that way. She seems overwhelmed in this moment. She seems like she's shutting down. She ran away. Maybe there was some panic there. I don't know. A lot of times on this show, they will focus on the American, maybe because English is a first language for Tariq. And we don't hear a lot from the Roses and the Hazels. But I'm so curious as to what Hazel is going through right now. Maybe they'll interview her.
I can tell you don't want to talk. Let's just get some rest. I'm sleepy.
I will say that Tariq is handling it very, very well. We have certainly seen situations like this with other couples where the Tariqs will just freak out, take it personally. How dare you not talk to me? She doesn't love me. I'm out of here. If you don't talk to me, this is over. I'm leaving. You know, you have to talk to me. All those kinds of things. We could imagine someone in Tariq's shoes doing, or at least having the impulse to do. And I'm not going to say every move he makes is perfect, but there are many different moves he could be making that would be destructive that he's not making. So I want to recognize Tariq in this moment is rolling with the punches. He's saying to himself, well, what am I going to do here? I can make things worse by really trying to pressure her, or I can just give it a rest and maybe in the morning she'll feel better. You can tell that Tariq isn't feeling very great already because he isn't. I'm guessing that when they were online communicating, he felt like he was maybe getting a lot more from her in terms of indications that she liked him. And since he's been in the Philippines, she's been seemingly quite shy, is one way to put it. Now, maybe that's her way of dating. Maybe that's customary for her to be standoffish in the beginning before you get to know someone. I don't know. But anyway, I just want to commend Tariq for doing things in a way that this show usually doesn't show.
I hate to see Hazel upset, but at the same time, I do still have some lingering doubts. If she's got nothing to hide, then why did everything Dean said about her and her ex touch such a nerve? All right.
Well, that was part of what I was hoping wouldn't happen. I mean, he's not flipping out about it, but the fact that he has questions is a little worrisome. The reason why Hazel was shutting down was because she was being aggressively yelled at for no reason and shamed for something that she is understandably probably very sensitive about. The fact that she is so poor that she had to give her son to the father so that her son could have at least somewhat of a stable life. And I'm sure she has a lot of sadness about that. So to be yelled at and shamed as if there's something wrong with her character. Now, again, maybe there is something wrong with her character. I don't know. But there wasn't enough evidence to say that in that moment. Well, that does it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle, in which I go back in time and watch Tarik and Hazel in preparation for the new Season 8 90 Day Fiancé, because they're supposed to be on it. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.